graduates of 2021. Mr. Shane Foster, who could not be with us this evening, and I would like to welcome all of you who are joining us in person, as well as all of you who are joining us via live stream. Graduates, this is your day. It's your special day to celebrate. However, there are many people here to celebrate and share with you this evening. These are the same people who have held your hand, who have wiped your tears, who have celebrated your successes and loved you unconditionally. Will you please join me and thank them for being here this evening? Please rise. Thank you. It is my pleasure to introduce our board chair, Joel Browse. Joel Browse, Barstow School Class of 1988, works with institutional investors and has been vice president with Franklin Templeton Investments, San Mateo, California, since 2013. Prior to his current role, Joel held a similar position with American Century Investments, Kansas City, for 13 years. Before working in the investment field, Joel practiced law for Sugar, Thompson, and Kilroy for 4 years. Joel Browse holds a BSJ from the University of Kansas, an MBA from Olin School of Business, Washington University in St. Louis, and a JD from the University of Missouri. He holds a FINRA license Series 6, 7, 24, and 63, and the National Futures Associate License Series 3. He is admitted to practicing law in Kansas and in Missouri. Joel has served as a trustee for the National Pension Fund of the Christian Church. Joel is married to Carrie Browse, and they have 3 daughters who have graduated from or attend Barstow. Zoe, class of 2019, Phoebe, class of 2021, and Sophie, class of 2023. Joel?
I have to put my glasses on. Wow, what a lovely group. Mayor Lucas, graduates, parents, distinguished guests, let me offer my sincere welcome on behalf of the Board of Trustees. We are thankful that you could be here today to help us celebrate the class of 2021. Their achievements, their perseverance, their grace during difficult times throughout their past year and throughout their tenure at Barstow. Graduates, 33 years ago, I was sitting in the very shoes on the very stage as you are. At that time, I remember feeling a sense of excitement, a sense of anxiety, and a small amount of dread. Tomorrow will begin a time in your life where the what's next is completely unknown. You won't have to wake up at 7:30 in the morning, drive to Barstow, slam in some sort of meal, get some coffee, and follow a schedule that we have given to you. Instead, you will create your own schedule, you will meet your new friends, you will discover a new home, and you will set new goals. All of that is uncertain. And for many people, uncertainty can cause anxiety and fear. That's just a natural course. And what you're doing in 5 years from now is even more uncertain. So think about that. But please allow me to share one piece of advice after 33 years from this stage. Think about the uncertainty and embrace the uncertainty. Become comfortable with it. Do not let the uncertainty create any doubt in you. Each of you has everything necessary to have wonderful lives. Face your uncertainty with optimism and curiosity, and let the uncertainty take you to places that are unknown. Graduates, you should know that we will always be in your corner on your journeys throughout. We wish you the very best of luck in everything that you do, and please accept the board's heartfelt congratulations for a job well done. We're very proud of you.
This year, the class of 2021 had co-salutatorians, Runyon Rosalind Shin and Thomas Kuzi. Thomas, I would like to introduce you, and it is my pleasure. Since entering Barstow in the 9th grade, Tommy has earned induction into Barstow's chapter of Cum Laude Society and was named National Merit Finalist and an AP Scholar with Distinction. Tommy is a founding member of the Barstow's cybersecurity team and has been active in debate, earning degrees of excellence, honor, and merit from the National Speech and Debate Association. An avid outdoorsman, Tommy also enjoys camping, hiking, and rock climbing. He plans to attend Montana State University to study ecology and conservation biology. Tommy?
Hello, everyone. So, to everyone here, and especially to my fellow seniors, it's been an awesome 4 years. And I had an enormous number of memories to choose from. But of all the topics I could pick, I think I want to talk a little today about magic. So, if you're anything like me, you've probably spent a lot of time as a kid reading fantasy novels. Books like Harry Potter and Percy Jackson have become cultural icons for our generation. As a middle schooler, I'd check them out from the library in stacks of 20 at a time. Pretty ubiquitously, the central element of these books is some kind of magic. We love to envision ourselves as the chosen one, transported from the boring world of the everyday into an exciting alternate dimension where we can shoot lightning with our fingers or ride dragons into the sky. As we grow up, we are often forced to leave those dreams behind. Apprenticeships with wizards become internships at companies. Fire-breathing familiars become dogs who have to be walked and fed every day. Papers stack up on your desk until sometimes you can't see beyond them. For a kid with dreams of magic, becoming a mere adult might seem mundane and even disappointing. The world can be shockingly real. And I know I'm starting to sound a little grim. But here's the thing. Cast your mind way back to elementary school. I'm pretty sure I can say with confidence that none of you had superpowers or read a dragon. And I'm going to be a bio major, so if you did, please let me know. That'd be a great research project. The Earth we lived on as kids is more or less the same one we're living on right now. But back then, that didn't matter. We thought our backyards were Narnia. We spent hours building castles out of blankets and casting spells with sticks covered in glitter. The possibilities seemed limitless. Magic wasn't something far away, found only in books. It was something all around us. Because when it comes down to it, our world is extremely cool. We have a planet with mountains that shoot fire and oceans deeper than you could ever imagine. We drink fizzy-colored beverages that give you energy. Heck, you can pull a hunk of metal out of your pocket and see what the scenery looks like in Vietnam, or talk with a friend in France. I mean, at the beginning of time, a little ball of energy the size of an atom exploded, and now, 14 billion years later, we're all standing here graduating. If that's not magical, then I don't know what is. And so, seniors, as we're about to graduate, we're going to become adults, and we're going to go out into the big wide world all on our own. In these past 4 years, we've made it through a lot. But high school hasn't just been homework and college applications and Zoom classes. It's been learning to drive and hanging out with friends and discovering who we all are as humans. As we all follow our own different paths, I hope none of you forget that even when life is hard and when tragedy strikes, just getting to be here on Earth is the greatest thing anyone could ever ask for. Take time to explore, to discover new and amazing things you might not have even thought possible. Always remember that time as a kid, when even the simplest things seem magical. And so, for the first and last time, seniors, lead us out. But not yet.
Ruyan Rosalind Shin attended school remotely this year due to COVID-19 pandemic, and therefore she's unable to be with us this evening for commencement. It's now my pleasure to introduce our valedictorian, Kelly Knief. Kelly Knief has been attending the Barstow School since kindergarten. While at Barstow, Kelly was a member of the Knights Stars dance team, French Honor Society, National Honor Society, Carescentes, and was a yearbook editor. Outside of school, Kelly danced competitively at the Pulse Performing Arts Center and was a project leader on the Youth Volunteer Corps Advisory Board. Other accomplishments include earning a Congressional Gold Medal and interning at the INS companies. Kelly will be attending Southern Methodist University in the fall, where she plans to major in French and in finance. At SMU, Kelly will participate in the Hilltop Scholars Program, Honors Program for Freshmen, and the Palm Squad. Welcome, Kelly.
Thank you, Mrs. Yount, for the kind introduction. Faculty, family, friends, and fellow graduates, we gather here tonight to celebrate the class of 2021 as we conclude our Barstow career and begin the next chapter of our lives. Tonight is one of those milestones that will separate our lives into before and after. Although many of us said we are ready to leave Barstow and move on to bigger and better things, the truth is, we will miss our time here. We've had some great memories together, like catching monarch butterflies in 2nd grade, dressing up for the 3rd grade wax museum, getting to tour the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., coming together as a class to cook a meal at Heifer, singing along to Sweet Caroline at the Boston Red Sox game, beating the seniors at the annual tug-of-war game our freshman year, of course, the Mongol invasion. Little did Dr. Gallagher know our class was so ruthless and competitive. And the senior sunrise, skip day, walk, and everything in between. We have also had our fair share of adversities, dealing with the pandemic and the new normal for our last 5 quarters, but we made it with the support of our Barstow community. As we reflect on our time at Barstow and think ahead to our future, I was drawn to William Shakespeare's quote, "Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them." This quote tells us not to be afraid of greatness and serves as a motivational tool. All of us have been blessed to attend Barstow, which has provided us with a strong educational foundation. We're deeply indebted to all of you here tonight and those who couldn't be here. As the 2021 graduates set out to find their greatness, I'd like to share some wisdom we learned from one book we read each year of high school. First, find your purpose. Remember reading The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger the summer before starting high school? The main character, Holden, is given advice that one of these days you've got to figure out where you want to go, and then you have to start going there, but immediately. You can't afford to lose a minute. Salinger was pretty clear here. Let's get moving. Without an endgame in sight, your experience can be a waste of time. Second, believe in yourself and your goals. In Persepolis by Marjane Satrapi, her father explains that in life you'll meet a lot of jerks. If they hurt you, tell yourself that it's because they're stupid. That'll help keep you from reacting to their cruelty, because there's nothing worse than bitterness and vengeance. Always keep your dignity and be true to yourself. The journey will not be without obstacles, but believing in yourself is critical for success. If you believe in yourself, others will too. Confidence is contagious and needed for leadership. Third, establish your independence. We read Jeanette Wall's our junior year. In her memoir, The Glass Castle, she is forced to become independent when thrown into a swimming pool as a young child. So, if you don't want to sink, you better figure out how to swim. As we move away to college next year, we'll have many opportunities to discover our interests and learn new things. These new freedoms may seem daunting, but it is an instrumental part to our development. What choices will you make, and how will you react to the hurdles you encounter? Lastly, live your dream. Some of us read A Man's Search for Meaning by Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl earlier this year. In his memoir, Frankl shares that happiness must happen, and the same holds for success. You have to let it happen by not caring about it. I want you to listen to what your conscience commands you to do and go on to carry it out to the best of your knowledge. Then you'll live to see that in the long run, success will follow you precisely because you had forgotten to think about it. Failure is a component of success. Every loss is a learning experience. Failure can be difficult to deal with, So take a little time to absorb the pain and move on. Maintain your endurance and will to win in your journey to greatness. I am confident we have many great leaders in the class of 2021. We may have future politicians, doctors, scientists, CEOs, actors, artists, teachers, possibly even a Supreme Court justice or Nobel Prize winner. President Roosevelt gave an interpretation of Shakespeare's quote saying, "We must dare to be great. Believe in yourself, take a breath, and accept the challenge." All of us are capable of greatness. The world needs us to rise to the occasion. You just have to take a step forward. As we prepare to go our separate ways, remember to be patient. Don't let anyone define you. Be your own advocate, and surround yourself with people who lift you up. As said in The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, "If you tame me, then we shall need each other. To me, you will be unique in all the world. To you, I shall be unique in all the world." No one reaches greatness without the help of others. Creating meaningful bonds and relationships with others is at the heart of success. Remember those who have helped you get to where you are and thank them. I encourage you to express your gratitude by giving back to your community or supporting those in a similar position as you once were. By collaborating and lifting each other up, we can all be the best version of ourselves. Who knows what the future may hold for you and who you may influence during your journey for greatness. We will all take different paths, have different lifestyles, and encounter different obstacles to reach success. And there's no easy path to get there. But don't fear those challenges. Embrace them. It doesn't matter how long it takes. Our next job in life is to figure out what our passion is and find within ourselves the inspiration to achieve it. Congratulations, Barstow Class of 2021. Now let's go and leave our mark on the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. It is now my great pleasure to introduce our graduation speaker this evening, Mayor Quentin Lucas, class of 2002. Quentin Lucas was sworn in as the 55th mayor of Kansas City on August 1st, 2019, the youngest elected Kansas City mayor in more than a generation. Born and raised in Kansas City, Mayor Q has spent most of his life in the city's urban core. As a child, his family moved often and experienced homelessness. Despite these challenges, he earned an academic scholarship to the Barstow School and graduated as an outstanding member of the class of 2002. Here at Barstow, classmates called him Mr. President. His senior yearbook describes Quentin as charming, charismatic, a leader. It's as if his classmates could predict the future. Quentin graduated from the Washington University and Cornell Law School before returning home to Kansas City. Since 2012, he has been a member of the University of Kansas Law School faculty and is an active in the community and volunteers extensively in area schools and organizations. He continues to serve his alma mater as a member of the Barstow Board of Trustees, and even after being elected mayor, he makes time to be interviewed by BTVN, to play on the alumni soccer game, and to attend our annual events. He often wears his traditional green and blue striped tie, which I think you will notice he has on, when he visits school, and he's been known to sing the Barstow Boom song when reminiscing about his days on campus. Quentin is an example of what it means to remain Barstow connected. In his first 2 years of office, Mayor Lucas has faced challenges beyond those imagined by the most experienced politicians. He's led with decisiveness during the COVID-19 pandemic, launched an innovative zero-fare transit initiative, worked to decriminalize poverty, and supported adoption of the Tenants' Bill of Rights. He also recently announced his marriage to Catherine and the birth of their son, Bennett. We offer our sincere congratulations. Please welcome Mayor Quentin Lucas.
So it is such an amazing honor to be with you. Among the list of things that I am, and you heard Mrs. Yount note, is an attorney. And so I'm incredibly worried about liability. So indulge me for just 1 second. Trustees have to be quite worried about those sorts of things. So now that you are all safe, it is such an honor to be with you, but more than anything, isn't it amazing to be together? Well, you can clap for that, absolutely. I've been to a graduation or two myself. I graduated 19 years ago. When Joel said 33, I see it just keeps growing and growing, but every time I've come to one of these events, it takes me back to being in your seats and how excited I was. It was a very muggy day like this for me too, so you're sweating, so I'll try not to go far too long, but I am so excited to be back at my alma mater with all of you. First things first, and I think it is important because I am kind of an ambassador for Kansas City. I see that many of you are going to different places, but I encourage you, I beg of you, consider coming back at some point. On behalf of your mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters and mayors, we love you. We want you to know how great it is, and I promise you this, something I did not think back in 2002 when I was sitting in those seats, is Kansas City is much more interesting than it may seem when you're 17 or 18 years old. So just give us a chance, and we promise we'll continue to make it more interesting for you along the way. Looking at really all of you, but also all of you, I'm proud of you too, but looking at all of our students, I am filled with such pride. When I graduated from high school, when Joe graduated from high school a few years after me, we didn't face nearly the challenges that you did over the last several years. Back in our day, the internet was somewhat new, so we wouldn't have known what virtual learning really was. Back in our day, we didn't deal with so much adversity and didn't handle it in so many ways with the grace that your class has done over the past 2 years. You are simply amazing. You were folks who continued to smile, continued to show up, continued to participate in practice and work out in the face of so much adversity, and we are all proud of you. And you have this unique thing over your parents and myself and all of us, because very few of us alive today, I think, graduated from high school during a pandemic, during a global pandemic, unless there is roughly an 120-year-old walking around somewhere here today. I think you have that very unique distinction. And I was so impressed by hearing about your progress, hearing about all you did, and hearing about all you did to make us, as they say, Barstow proud as you went along the way. So over the past 4 years, you have worked hard, you've grown up, you've confronted things that we have never would have imagined. Beyond the protests and pandemics, I saw that you had state championship competitions for many of you, state championship competitions from which you had to withdraw, which is really something new. A Chiefs Super Bowl, which back when Joel and I and Joe and others were in high school, never would have thought, not only would we have a Chiefs Super Bowl win, but even a Chiefs Super Bowl loss that we would want to forget. But more than anything, you have worked so hard to learn languages, trigonometry, respect for one another. And you've become what makes Barstow special. When I sat where you're sitting now, knowing that everything was about to change in some ways, I felt in some ways this bit of normalcy and embarrassment. In the fall of my senior year, we saw the attacks of September the 11th. And I remember like yesterday, I was sitting in what was then the library, just staring out the window, seeing this incredibly peaceful day in Kansas City, and thinking even then, how could I help? How could I make some sort of difference? How could I help things change? As Mrs. Yount, who was the head of upper school when I was in lower school, but she's still 30 today. As Mrs. Yount may recount, when I first started here, Barstow was a new place for me. I looked different than many of the folks. I came from further away than many of the folks. I was a fish out of water. I didn't know what summer vacations were all about. I was intrigued that people drove foreign cars, which really it was a thing way back in the day. It was all new to us. But I got to know the place. I got to know the people. I got to see how we could really weather so many differences to get to know each other. And I also knew how important education itself was. Education can propel you, it can distinguish you, and most importantly, students, it never leaves you. You're brilliant, and in many ways more so than me, because both of the speeches I've heard today, I don't understand half of the stuff now. And it is just so important for you to know. Never be embarrassed by your intellect, never be embarrassed by your experiences, and more than anything, what I have always found so special about Barstow, and don't get me wrong, I'm the mayor of Kansas City, so I love everyone the same, of course, but I really, really like you because you use your creativity, you use your talents to confront so many problems in society. Back when I was at Barstow, I still remember some years ago that then Mayor Emanuel Cleaver spoke at the baccalaureate. And I thought, oh my goodness, he has time for us. And I just kind of thought in my head, how interesting would it be to become the mayor one day of Kansas City? See, some of you have these really big dreams, and they're much cooler things for you to do. But for me, I said, wow, how impressive could it be? And I kept believing that I could be, because my teachers at Barstow said you really could be anything. Mr. Hill, some time ago, and I used to do an imitation of him. I won't really land it like I used to, but you guys know he's really eager all the time. And he's like, high five, congratulations. And, he said, Quentin, the sky's the limit for you. And although that's in some ways cliched, if no one's ever told it to you, you don't know how special it is. So know that his excitement is the excitement that so many of the rest of us have for you today. We know that in hearing your stories and just looking at you and your energy and your optimism, there's so much ahead for you. And so a few things that I want to impart upon you, and I promise I won't make any political speeches or anything of that sort, although I have much to discuss there too. But a few very simple things that I think are what I'd like to call a bit of nonpartisan advice. The first of which is that even where people may underestimate what you're capable of, know that you believe in yourself. You have a perspective that is unique to you and your experiences. And know that only you can truly advocate for your voice, the neighborhoods you grew up in, those struggles that you have witnessed, and the ideas that you have to pave a better future. There are many things that you may have gone through, there are many things that you may not have, but know that in every room you're in, you have much to add. Know that you should and you can have that loud voice. Know that we need your participation, no matter what it is. And never, ever condemn yourself as someone who's not smart enough or brave enough or capable enough. And if you listen to your parents, it may seem hard to believe, but that has happened in all of our lives. At every step of the way. When I was running for mayor, somebody said, you're far too young. What do you know? Take more time. Wait your turn. There will be better opportunities. And I imagine if you ask your parents along the way, as they took chances, folks were saying, oh my, there's never been a woman who's done that. There's never been someone X or Y that's been able to take on this opportunity. Know that you can. And importantly, know that every experience is special and unique. Everyone has challenges and everyone has paths. You may have just gone through a college admissions process where you thought the only way to be successful was to be an Olympic swimmer and someone who speaks Greek and someone who started a nonprofit about elephants speaking to each other in East Africa. And I will tell you, by the way, I once met a person who claimed to start such a nonprofit. Craziest thing ever. But know that really, no matter who you are, no matter what steps you've taken, your story is so important, your journey is so important, and that go on and explore more, but also be proud of who you are. Now, some of you may know what you wish to dedicate your life to, and if you do at age 17 or 18, I promise you it will change. But even for those of you who do not, which I still feel like I am in some ways, know that it's okay. Know that it's okay to learn. Know that it's okay to take a winding path. Know that it's okay to have a process of discovery and disappointment, building and rebuilding. And more than anything, do not be discouraged by the tiny things in life. I'll go off script just briefly. So I had the fortune of having a child about 5.5 weeks ago. And the most interesting thing was, first of all, I have so much respect for you parents in a newfound way, because about 5 days in, I said, this child is lovely and wonderful. Why does anyone have more than one? But so really, I'm incredibly impressed. But more than anything, I got to see that the daily battles we're in, and I love my job, and I love what we do, and all of the important issues. But at the end of the day, when you go home and you stare at a baby's eyes, and you see there's so much more, it gave me that new perspective. Know why you're doing the things that you do. Know that they are truly important. But know more than anything, you still have people who love you and who care about you, no matter what steps you go through. The other thing that I'll note is that the most rewarding thing about life will be the people you meet along the way. So many of you are going on to new experiences, and this transition will in many ways pull you away from your support systems that you've relied on for many years. Your family, your teachers, your classmates. But know that you're not alone. I spent so much time at Barstow, I got to sit in the front row like you guys. It was amazing, and I had to focus the entire time, right? Because my mother was sitting across from me. It was really odd and lots of pressure. But some of you may be happy to leave. Some of you, like me, may be somewhat sad. Because even back when I was a senior in high school, I said, wait a minute. And it was only till about the last week where I said, I have free television. There are meals every night. This is really not the worst deal. And in many ways, it's a good deal. But growth is important for us. Understanding that sadness may be something you feel, or in some ways, this courage to do something new. Know that that's okay as you go through the next steps. What makes all of these steps better is truly respecting, loving, and getting to know those around you. I remember when I studied abroad in Cape Town, South Africa, and I made this interesting set of friends, one from Somalia, one from Spain, one from Zimbabwe. And we went on, I'll tell you the travails of this trip at some point, but we decided to take a driving trip to Namibia, which was 18 hours north of Cape Town. And because I was frugal then and somewhat frugal now, so you can trust your mayor on these budget issues, I decided to be the only one who could drive on the trip. We got a manual transmission instead of an automatic because I could drive a stick shift. Terrible idea. Just absolutely terrible idea because I was the only one driving the entire time. The car broke down along the way. We actually were able to jack the car up and fix a tire with a toothbrush. I'll tell you more about that at some point. I was much more like MacGyver in my youth. But most importantly, we got to go through it together. There are still people I email, and the emails get a little more sporadic, a little more distant. But I got the chance to actually share so much life, survival, conversation with others. And even today, I had the opportunity to bump into someone. I was at the airport, and a gentleman walked up to me and he said, "Te acuerdas?" So for those of you who take Spanish, it was, "Do you remember me?" And I was like, "No." But then he said, "We met at a park, and I was a soccer coach in Northeast Kansas City. And you talking to me meant a lot to me and the kids." And I was actually having a fairly full day. A lot of things are going on. There was so much. But that gentleman walking up and just saying, "Te acuerdas?" And I didn't understand it, and I didn't remember it, meant so much. Make sure you take advantage of your te acuerdas opportunities. Make sure that when you see someone you may not have seen for a while, or if you just bump into someone, or when you're in college, right, make sure you just stop and say hi to someone in your class who you may know but you never really talked to, right? Those are the opportunities that can make some sort of difference. And importantly, whatever you decide to do, make sure you're working to lift up more folks than just yourselves. Your education is such an amazing tool. This school is in many ways amazing. It's why I keep coming back. But part of that is that they're teaching so many people. They've taught thousands to go out and make a difference in a number of different ways. I still remember a time, I graduated from law school back in 2009. And I remember after I graduated from law school, you're lucky enough sometimes to get all these wonderful offers. You can become a very rich man like Joel, or you could do it, I'm kidding. You could do any number of other things. And I recall as I was on the path to graduation, a professor of mine asked me, "Do you want to take part in this death penalty case?" To which I said, "Absolutely not." And she said, "Well, you can learn, you can get this wonderful experience, it will be intriguing for you." And so I said, "Well, maybe I'll think about it." She responded with, "You have to care about somebody else." And as I went through the experience, in many ways it was absolutely heartbreaking. I worked for a man, Curtis Osborne, who was from a tiny Georgia town. His lawyer, who was the county public defender, had represented roughly 1,000 clients per year in felony cases. For those who are not lawyers, that's quite a bit. And he had represented all of those clients, but when he handled a death penalty case, he got paid a little bit extra. So the trial lasted 4 days. On the 5th day, it was his sentencing phase. He was sentenced to death. He was 19 years old at the time he was sentenced, and he had a 1-year-old baby. I worked on the case. I got to know him. I got to know his family. And actually, this joke gets older and older every year as the students get younger and younger, but the parents may get it. I was visiting Georgia Death Row to talk to Curtis back in 2008. And I said, Curtis, well, are you following the presidential election? And a lot of the attention was on the Democratic primary at the time between Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. And I said, do you have a favorite there? And he said, Barack's fine, Hillary's fine, but I'm a really big Mitt Romney guy. He said, Mitt's got the answers for America. And it was so intriguing because I'd never heard anyone on death row articulate such a thing. But nevertheless, I got to know Curtis, I got to know his family, I got to see so much that was going on. But we also went through a process, and we lost. And when you lose a death penalty matter, you really, really lose. And so I remember I was in a law office in Boston, actually, refreshing the website for Atlanta's newspaper, the Journal-Constitution. He was scheduled to be executed at 7. Finally, at 9 o'clock, there was an update, murderer put to death for 1991 homicide. And I still remember then, I was astonished because I lost. Right? I'd gone through so much. I'd been successful at things. I'd heard all these positives, and I lost. And I had this despair. And it made me wonder, why am I even doing this, right? I wanted to have a then 24-year-old temper tantrum. Why am I even going into law? But then later, I got a letter from his daughter. His daughter's name was Lakeisha. And she had written a letter, and she said, thank you for caring about my father, because I thought nobody had ever cared about me and my family. And I just thought, maybe my role there wasn't to save his life. Maybe my role wasn't to change up the entire criminal justice system. Maybe my role was to tell one 17-year-old that there are people that care about you, your family, and your plight. We let her know for a short while that people each day were fighting for her. So for you, it can be a death penalty case, it can be tutoring, it can be a business. But know that you can make some sort of difference for anyone. For that young child who needs a mentor, you can be that someone special who cares. For that elderly person who needs someone to talk to, be that someone special. For that friend or sibling who is having a tough time, you can be that someone special. And also note that your work may be seen as failure. It may not get you on television or these days as an Instagram influencer or a TikTok person. I don't know what you call those folks. But know that you've made some great difference. It may help a condemned man receive the equal justice under law that this country pledges, or it may be you helping to rebuild a community block by block. On this day of celebration, we see that you are a wonderful future for all of us. You care about each other, you care about a community, and more than anything, you show that despite the circumstances, you continue caring and working, struggling and learning. You give your parents, your grandparents, your families, and your friends, and me, and Kansas City, so much hope. We thank you for that. We are so excited about your future journey, and we congratulate you. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you, Quentin. And now, will the class of 2021 please rise? This is what you've been waiting for. By the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees in the state of Missouri, I now confer upon you the status of high school graduate. Congratulations. Please be seated. And come forward as your name is called to receive your diploma.
It is now my honor to recognize the members of the class of 2021. As is traditional, please hold your applause until all members of the class are recognized. Lauren Elizabeth Andrews, National Honor Society. Lily Elizabeth Bash, National Honor Society. Caleb James Chang, National Honor Society. Jack Christopher Georgie. Drew Catherine Gilworth. Grant Shelm Harkins, cum laude, National Honor Society. Abigail Ellen Hart. Sage Trinity Holmes, National Honor Society. Susanna Matilda King, National Honor Society. Andrei Kolobrodov, cum laude, National Honor Society. Mark Adam Lapotovsky, National Honor Society. Jedediah Frederick Scott. Tara Nicole Lintel, cum laude, National Honor Society. Connor Lee Arment. Saketh Shri Baumori, cum laude, National Honor Society. Alexis Nichelle Dixon, National Honor Society. Nathan William Francis. Kelly Vaughn Knief, cum laude, National Honor Society. Gavin John Passanisi. Noah Gregory Waldman, National Honor Society. Jacqueline Marie Tingle, cum laude, National Honor Society. Catherine Nicole Ellis, National Honor Society. Mia Kaylin Sabapathy. Phoebe Colleen Browse, cum laude, National Honor Society. Mark Henderson Matula. Sean Edward Wyckoff. Miranda Caitlin Byer, National Honor Society. Thomas James Gannon. Clark Taylor Prophet. Madison Cantu Browning. Matthew Charles Justice, National Honor Society. Meghana Reddy Lucareddy, National Honor Society. Joseph Ricardo Sheeran, National Honor Society. Rishi Malay, cum laude, National Honor Society. Sunil Iyer Ryland, National Honor Society. Willow MacGyver. Iskandar Khan Alimanovich Mamadaliev. Zoe May Moore. Jack Avery Stonebarger. Samuel Michael Colombo. Abby Elizabeth Hatton. August Cole Irwin. Aaron Lee Scorado, National Honor Society. Portia Layton Stroutman. Zoe Marie Anderson. Alexander Dale Blanc. Thomas Michael Kuzi, cum laude. Briley Jade Glenn. Jalen Renee Glenn. Clara Jane Ketchell, National Honor Society. Viva Swan, Prasad Saraf. Folk Jung. I would also like to recognize the 14 members of the class of 2021 that were unable to join us this evening. Mingi Kristen Gan, Wangyang Sunny Lee, Jeline Selena Ni, Ruyun Rosalind Shen, cum laude, Weiwei Lucia Lu, Tracy Ku Lin, Yichin Ajax Ma, Zi Nikki Lu, cum laude, Zizong Burton Chen, Sinri Lucy Lu, Chubo Jerry Wang, Youngjang Wang, Kylie Tatum Flowers, and Jaye Holly Wang. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the class of 2021.
And finally, we come to my charge for the class of 2021. Yesterday at Baccalaureate, we talked about the book that you're writing, the book that's all about you, my story. Chapter 1, Birth to Preschool, and Chapter 2, Preschool to Today. The end of Chapter 2 had a plot twist. And you spent your entire senior year in a global pandemic. When you tell this part of your story, I hope you include how you persevered, how you adapted, how you turned disappointment into achievement, and how very, very proud we are of your accomplishments. Strong character development is part of every great story, especially yours. Acknowledge, recognize, appreciate all of the people in your life. Our lives are better when we make someone else feel better or we make them have a better life. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Remember, people are your greatest resource in the whole world. Continue to follow your dreams, taking one step at a time. If you stumble, get up. Don't settle for less. So now you begin Chapter 3. Maybe you already have an outline. Maybe that page appears blank right now. Where the story goes now is up to you. But those of us who are here to support you today know that you have everything you need to start writing. Will the class of 2021 please rise? You've been given the best your school has to offer. We are proud of you, we love you, and we'll also miss you. And never, ever, ever forget, you are the class of 2021 in the Barstow School. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, I present the class of 2021. Please remain seated while our graduates recess. To provide for social distancing, we're going to have you meet them in the arrival circle. Graduates, you may begin. Please join your sons and daughters.